Okay, good afternoon. We're from Universidad de Guadalajara, Centro Universitario de Ciencias Sociales y Humanidades. We study licenciatura en docencia en inglés como lengua extranjera. And our group is composed of Belén Huerta Núñez, Andrea Rebeca Rangel Flores, and I, Erendira Paula Arevalo Aguirre. And today we're going to be presenting the effectiveness and language development in online classes. Okay, as far as the objectives for our research, the first one would be to identify the factors that influence the students' development in online classes, to analyze the students' experiences in online classes, and also to measure how beneficial online classes are in language development.
So our theoretical background. So we chose this topic of investigation because they both have the student and teacher perspective, and we wanted to see the student's point of view on what this type of class modality is and how effective it is. Overall, there is strong evidence to suggest that online learning is at least as effective as the traditional format. Evidence is by no means is conclusive. So online learning is a story still written, and how this progresses is still depend on how this history comes through. And given the situation, this is a major part of how online classes are effective or not. So yeah, that's why we chose it. So our state of arts, we chose to look up for Nikki Hockley's one of her research from May 6th of 2015. And on this work, she showed the effects of multimodality and the effects of multimodality that have been explored in online language teaching. And in the research within the last 10 years, it shows how it affects learners' interaction and how this is concerning. And the next research we looked for was, could you help me with the next slide? Was Timothy K. Sith from November the 27 from 2017. And on this work, he pointed out the challenges of distance education as well as important research issues on this work. And finally, Monica Springer from July the 14th, 2020. She made a survey on online learning. And from that survey, findings revealed that almost all respondent schools have switched from our distance teaching since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. And over 60% believe that school practices will not be the same when they reopen.
Okay, as a hypothesis for our research, we have that online courses may cause a negative impact on students by not to fulfill their language development or feel detached to the course they are taking.
Okay, so for our survey, our research is a qualitative descriptive research. To get our results, we conveyed a survey which was designed on November 16th through Google Forms, and it was sent through WhatsApp on November 18th. It includes the 4 questions on a scale of 1 through 4, going from positive to negative, 4 multiple choice questions, including 4 choices each, and 2 open questions at the end. For our participants, we constructed our research based on 15 PAL students, which is 28% of the 7 a.m. PAL class population. And these participants are between the ages of 17 and 45. Okay, so for our first question, which was how comfortable are you with online classes? It was shown that 86.7% feel really comfortable with online class modality, whereas 1.6 feel comfortable and 1.6 feel somewhat comfortable. With this question, we were trying to see how much of an impact students' feelings have on online classes. And most of the participants who felt comfortable with online classes decided they would continue continue to take them after presential classes begin. Can you go to the next slide, please? Perfect, thank you. Okay, so as far as question 2 is, how satisfied are you with the knowledge you have acquired in an online class? So here, here what we were trying to see is if the students feel like they are actually learning in this environment. For this question, 53.3, which was the majority of the students, expressed to feel really satisfied. And the same people who chose that they didn't feel comfortable in online classes were the ones who felt like they weren't learning. Okay, so as far as question 3 is, how is your concentration in online classes? So we all know that concentration during class is important both in presential and online. So the results show that the students who paid more attention were the ones with greater results in language learning. This question showed that 40% of the students have very good concentration, 33% show that they have good concentration, and the other 26.7 show that they have a hard time concentrating, which is the numbers that are labeled there by 3 and 4. Thank you. As far as question 4, which was, how do you consider the teacher's abilities in online classes? So this question, we chose it to see the influence that teachers have in actual online classes. So the results show that the majority of the students, which is 53.3%, consider that the teacher's abilities are very good. 33 show it is good, and 6.7 chose that they were bad, and another 6.7 show that they were very bad. And like the numbers that we keep seeing on the 3 and 4, which was very bad, are the students who also chose that they had more trouble either concentrating or they really didn't get like the online classes. And as far as question 5, it was, which environment do you prefer when learning? We gave the options of online classes, presential, hybrid, and it doesn't matter. As far as this, the results to these questions actually impacted us because just like we saw in the hypothesis, we thought the students would respond negatively to distance learning, especially when learning like a different language. However, more than 50% of the students say they would prefer online classes for many reasons. That will be shown in question 10, like the reasons they chose. 20% of them opted for presential classes and 20% for hybrid, which is where both online and presential classes are implemented. And can you go to the next slide, please? Okay, perfect. So as far as this question, it's how do you consider the environment in your PAL class? The objective of this question was to know how the student feel in their actual learning environment. And as expected, the students considered the environment was good. Were the same ones who would continue to take online classes. So the 60% that considered that they liked the environment that they were in were the same ones who at the end decided they would take or continue taking online classes. And as far as 33%, they chose that it was just good, and this other 6.6% considered that the environment was very bad. So for question 7, how often do you participate in class? So the participants who showed to have more participation in class are the ones who also have greater concentration in class or during class. The objective of this question was to note how students perceive their participation during class, and the results show that 73.3% of the students always participate, a 13.3 rarely do, and 6.7 say they sometimes participate, and another 6.7 say they never do. This is the same thing as the previous question. The students who tend to have a higher level of participation are the ones who have a higher level of concentration and overall better results in online classes. Okay, so as far as question 8, which is what are the most common problems in online classes? So 21.4% of students expressed that they had a problem with the actual course. 42.9 said that they had problems with their internet, and which may have caused them to miss important things in class or important things they needed to know about. 7.1 say they had a lack of motivation, which may prevent them from learning. 7.1 expressed that they had no problems, and 24.4 picked other, which out of that, 14.3 chose they had like a medical problem, which was hearing. So this could lead to complications during the class. And the other 7.1 shows that they don't always have access or are able to complete the activities. So since they aren't sure or they don't know how to use some of the resources that are used in class, that's the problems that they have, because that may cause them to fall behind.
And for question number 9, nine was, what has been the impact of online classes in your life? And in the contrary that we stated on our hypotheses, students shown a good impact towards these online classes, which really shocked us. And the students, here are some results that students gave us. For example, student number 1 said, it's a good opportunity because I can be in class easily. And this one was really important since the age factor really helps with this, since the majority of our students are adults, like working adults, so they have a job, and this modality helps them being able to connect and being time to leave for work and do their normal life. So student number 2 said, they have helped me a lot. I never imagined I would be able to take classes because of work, which is related to what I said before. And student number 4 said, it helps me understand things that I didn't before, which really shows up that the other factors that Paola said and that we investigated, that the process and the modality we're using is working, and this modality helps them understanding better and giving more attention to it. Student number 5, I learned to live together at a distance, which is really useful. I think we all are learning to live far away from each other. And student number 7, good, and I can get to live the experience, even though it's kind of a bad experience given the situation. It's really good for us to experience new things, and this is a good example. And well, at the end of the day, we're learning. We all are. And yes, so question number 10 was, when schools fully reopen, will online classes remain part of your school practice? And this was our final question. We wanted to see what percentage of participants would actually consider retaking online classes. And results showed that 46.6% of students chose not to answer, and 40% said they would, and 13.3% said they wouldn't. So student number 1 said, online classes are easier for me, which is a good factor for them to retake them. And student number 2, yes, it's the best way for me to keep learning. Student number 3, it's comfortable for me to take classes at home. And student 4, yes, because of the time. And this relates to their age and their capacities of work, or if they have a family, if they had to take their children to school. And yeah, these are the results they gave us.
Okay, as a conclusion of our research, as a final conclusion, We can say that this survey determined that our students do feel comfortable in online learning. This means our hypothesis was totally wrong. We underestimated the efficiency of the online environments. It was determined that students do or are happy with the knowledge they are acquiring with the environment, and actually we think this is mainly because of what we just said, that is that students may have more time and have more opportunity of learn in home without having to move around to go to another place. It also determined that students feel more comfortable by participating in class, even when they can't know their partners where they sometimes have to work on. They don't even know them, but they still feel comfortable. So I think the environments in online classes have been better every time. They are developing every time. So online teaching changed all our perspectives, such as in students, like as teachers. As teachers, we have to improve a lot of our plans and our methods for students to have a better learning. And students have to open their minds to a new learning system where sometimes it is difficult, but we still want to learn. So this survey was really good. This research, I think we learned a lot about it. And for me, that was all I have to say. I don't know if maybe my partners want to conclude something. I think not. So thank you for your attention and thank you for being here with us. And these would be our references. So have a good morning, a good afternoon, and